Time for Midday Live. Good afternoon. I am Wendy Laya. Top stories for this afternoon. The Ghana Armed Forces to embark on a route march at all regional capitals and garrisons across the country on January 3 to mark the New Year 2013. In business this afternoon, Social Security and National Insurance Trust (SNIT) increases index pensions in payment for 2013. And on the foreign front, U.S. President Barack Obama has hailed a deal reached to avert a fiscal cliff of huge tax rises and spending cuts. Details coming up in a jiffy. Don't worry. Start with our first headline story, and the Ghana Armed Forces will embark on a route march at all regional capitals and garrisons across the country on Thursday, which is tomorrow, January 3, to mark the New Year 2013. Now, joining me on the phone line is the Director of Public Affairs of the Ghana Armed Forces, Colonel Mbawuniatin Tandi. Good afternoon, and thanks for your time, Colonel.
Yeah, thank you very much, TV3.
When was the last time the Ghana Armed Forces organized such an activity?
Oh, just a few months ago. Not in the scale that we're going to have it now, but the last 2 months, 3 months, we organized what we call Exercise Bridget. And as part of Exercise Bridget, which was supposed to help us, all the security services, to work together towards providing security for the elections, as part of that activity, we held route marches in some of the garrisons. So I think a couple of months ago we held those things.
But looking at
we were not able to hold one in Accra particularly, but we held one garrison which is responsible for Tema, held one. So we held some route marches in the last few months.
But looking at this very one for the new year, is this something you've been doing yearly?
Yes, route marches are very routine for us. Every quarter, that is every 3 months, we have a route march. But the idea of the route march normally is to help us, that is all those who are taking part in the route march, to show the flag, that is the security service. We show the flag, let the Ghanaian people see us, know who we are. And then we raise our own morale, is to test our endurance, and then to test the cooperation that we have. It is also to help us to tore down. I mean, just relax, feel at home, and then do the things that we like to do very much, like these morale songs that we have.
Yes.
So it is not anything that is out of the ordinary. It is routine. And so people should not be worried that we are having it, even us at this time. Yes, we are doing it to close the year 2012 and to usher in the new year as part of the fourth quarter activity. So it should not be a problem to anybody.
I was coming to that very point you made when you were about ending your statement, that what would you say to people who are thinking that you're probably doing this to intimidate people, or probably find out if it even has a link with the swearing in of the president on January 7th?
No, I don't think anybody should link that up with the swearing in of the president. There's no need for that. We have a role to play during the swearing of the president or any other of the activities. We've seen, all of us, we've seen ourselves, doing one thing or another during the course of the year. When the president died, we were all there. When the vice president died, we were all there. Of course, the elections, they saw us all. So it is not an issue that we should target this and say we are doing this specifically because of the swearing in for the inauguration. We have a role to play during the inauguration, as indeed all the functions that we have. So the issue is not to intimidate anybody. I repeat that the issue is not to intimidate anybody.
All right.
The issue is that we want to show the flag, that is all the security services, not just the armed forces. So tomorrow, all of us are going to be involved in it.
Okay.
That exception. And it's throughout the garrison, that is in all the regions where we have security services.
Okay.
That is what we're going to do. And it's not to intimidate anybody.
Okay. How is it going to be organized, and who is leading the various routes in the various regions?
Well, the security service, the army, the military is normally in the forefront.
Okay.
But all of us here, we are not talking about who is leading and who is not. We are all the same, so we'll do it together. In Accra in particular, I'll not be able to say what it is like, the route, what the route is like in the other garrisons. But in Accra, we'll start from Elwak. We'll go through up to Accra Girls. Then we'll swing left to the Nima Highway, up to the Nima Police Station, then up to the Akwaje interchange. Then we go up through Flagstaff House, and then through Christ the King, and back to Elwak, where our various leaders will address us. And then we'll have a light movement, a reception, where all of us will drink and dance and then play, with ourselves. So I don't think that it's a big deal at all. This is what will happen tomorrow. We expect that the public should be part of this, because normally with such youth marches, people get enticed or attracted to the songs that we sing, and then the cheerfulness that we exhibit. So we expect that the public should be part of this. If they are strong enough to join us, there's no big deal about it. That's about 2 hours, and I think that it should not be a problem, anybody getting out there to say that they want to wish solidarity with us. So let them come. We would all be out there tomorrow. But let me repeat again, it is not to intimidate anybody. And should not be afraid to see security service out there on the street. All right then. Thank you very much, and wish you all the best on your route march tomorrow. That is January 3. I just spoke to Director of Public Affairs of the Ghana Armed Forces, Kenan Bawini Atintandi. This is Midday Live. More details are beginning to unravel about the collapsed portion of an uncompleted 3-story at the Mr. Mensa Junction at Dansoman. The Ablekuma Metro chairman says that he has inspected the building and the owner has no building permit.
On Saturday, December 29, 2012, sources told TV3 this portion of the building collapsed on Thursday, 27 December 2012. But the Ablekuma Sub-Metro chairman, Philip Lamte, said he followed up to the site upon seeing the story on TV3 and was told by the workers that they raised down this portion, a staircase, deliberately.
The story that they told us was right, that the building did not collapse, but the staircase was very steepy, and they tried of removing the steepy staircase so that they can form a very free and easy one. And that is what actually they were doing.
Construction began in 2011, yet there's no building permit covering it.
The owner of the building is called Alhaji Tijani. We have to make sure the right thing is done. So we told him to bring his documents that they have, so that we will tell him what to do next. He came here and realized that he has no documents. We asked him the reason. He said somebody sold the land to him, and the person who sold the land to him, not knowing the land belongs to state housing. So although he has paid the money to the person who sold the land to him, he doesn't want to have problems. So he has also gone ahead to pay money to the state housing, which is also having a receipt to that effect. Yeah. So with this document now, he can then go ahead to do the request for the building permit.
However, Philip Lamte said the owner of the building will not escape the consequences.
2011, it was then 2-story. But as I said, definitely that's not the only place that we are working. We are working all over the metropolis. So they will be working at the blind side of the sub-metro. So where the level that he has put up his building now, after our engineers have gone on the field to check whether the soil test matches with whatever the person has done there, then we'll then slash him with the penalty for not acquiring permit before building.
Now I have on the phone line Philip Lamte. He's the head of AMA Rapid Response Team and the Ablekuma Sub-Metro Chief. Good afternoon and thanks for your time, Mr. Lamte.
Good afternoon, my dear. How are you?
I'm doing very well, thank you. What is the Sub-Metro's program for inspection?
Come again.
What is the Sub-Metro's program for inspection?
Yeah, the Sub-Metro's program for inspection.
Mr. Lamte, can you please reposition yourself?
Are you okay?
Yes, please. Thanks.
Okay, the Sub-Metro program for inspection is that every morning we don't work only in the morning or whatever. I've got 24 hours there. That is the AMA's line of duty. But many times people think Monday to Friday AMA can work, and then from Saturday and Sunday people can do without. I will work 24 hours.
Are you done, Mr. Lamte? How many?
Of our line of inspection.
Mr. Lamse, can you move away from your television set? Or
Okay.
lower
Are
the
you okay
volume
now?
completely?
Are you okay?
You still have to reduce it or move away from your television set.
Okay. Okay. Right.
And how many stages do you have before one can occupy a structure, whether commercial or private?
How many what?
Stages do you have before one can occupy a structure, whether commercial or private?
Okay. It is a process. Before you can put up a structure or whatever, you have to acquire permit before putting up the structure. And before getting the permit, there are requirements that you have to go through. First of all, you have to have a land. When you get your land, then you have to have the documents of the land. That shows that really the land belongs to you. From then, you then make your drawings or whatever you wanted to put on the land on paper. Then you then take your documents to the appropriate quarters where they're going to request for your permit, which they also will be requesting of certain things like soil test, fire report, and then other things that you need to submit. After all these are being submitted, then our building inspector will go on the field to check whether really the documents that you have are for you. Then from there, the documents will then go to the Accra Planning Committee. That is going to be going to the technical site, which we call it the technical subcommittee, which will be going through the documents that you have and also make sure the land belongs to you. And also check whether whatever the requirements of AMA, you have had everything. After checking all those things, the next thing you need to do is that then AMA will let you know whatever you need to do by payment. After the Accra Planning Committee in general, which the mayor of Accra is the chairman of that committee, have approved it, and then they will let you know the amount that you need to pay.
So generally,
Normally,
how
it keeps long.
Did you say it keeps
long?
Okay.
But what happened is that this current mayor of Accra has given about almost at least 4 weeks to make sure after your permits have been approved, you need to go and pay the amount, the fee involved, and then you apply your permit. You can continue with the building.
Now, we have seen several instances where this process you've just outlined are not followed. Now, do you have the manpower to ensure that all persons who move into various structures, even in the sub-metro, do you have the manpower to ensure that all these things are undergone, or these processes are undergone? Do you have enough manpower for that?
We have it. We are talking about decentralization. That is why the sub-metros are there. We are to make sure, work it out. Apart from that, the head office, that's the building unit of the head office, also have a task force team that also go work around or maybe check whatever we have been doing to make sure the right thing is in right, like they are.
So, but why do we see the opposite of what you've just outlined? Because there are some instances where we do see the opposite, where persons do not even have certificates of occupancy. So what is wrong then?
That means we have not done what you're supposed to do.
And what should be done to ensure that you do your work? Because you're supposed to be in charge of these buildings before you even issue your permits to them.
Yes, like you say, one thing that many times people doesn't know is that you see us writing stop work and what have you on the building. That doesn't mean that the person have no permit or whatever. But maybe we have not, the person is not doing the right thing on the site. Somebody may have permit, but we'll go ahead and write, produce documents. Not even permit, produce documents.
So would you accept that in some instances the sub-metros have failed?
I would not say we have failed because we have done whatever we are doing.
But you just said that at some point you are not doing what you're supposed to do.
You see, in this case of this issue that we are discussing now, the sub-metro went ahead with the building inspector unit, went ahead and realized that the person is building. We immediately told him to stop work. We went back and realized that it's still working. So the task force of the mayor of Accra formed also went and stopped him about 3 times, which then immediately they stopped working.
But if you're supposed to look at the general picture away from the Dansoman issue, would you say that some of the sub-metros have failed? Because we still have instances where we record no permits, no certificates of occupancy, but people are still living there.
Yes, you are right. That is the sub-metro have failed. I will not say no. Because we need to make sure the right thing is done.
All right, and before I let you go, we have also seen instances where probably there's a ground floor and the owners, whether private or commercial, are still building on. Should we see people living in the ground floor? Is that supposed to happen?
Yeah, people can live in the ground floor if they have stopped doing the upper work.
But what if construction is still ongoing?
As it has been happening in previous issues, that work is on progress, and then you see that the building or whatever caves in. When it happens so, people under there will die. So it is not advisable for people to be staying inside there because they will say they have no place to stay, and because of that, they have to go and say, no, it cannot be done.
But we are still seeing it. Is the sub-metro going to check that?
Yeah, I think, in a way, we need to learn from our mistakes.
So are you going to check it?
But we need to learn from our mistakes.
So are you going to check it?
So when you see something that you inform us, then we have to act.
All right. Well, thank you very much for your time. I just spoke to Philip Lamte, the head AMA Rapid Response Team and Ablekuma Sub-Metro Chief. Well, we look at some more stories, and the founder and leader of Christo Asafo Mission, Apostle Dr. Kwadwo Sarfo, has tasked educational authorities to allocate more time and resources towards practical training of students. He threw the challenge at the church's 32nd annual technology exhibition in Accra.
On display were products manufactured at the Apostle Sarfo School of Arts and Sciences. They included cars, robots, and incubators. Apostle Sarfo believes Ghanaians can do more.
Emma me hunye wahi nemum to kwase na tie me nasaka ya desua no a yesua no osuapon mu no anka ebetumi asem kakra nanka da bia no enkwese se twire na kenkai twire na kenkai ocho no kenkai wi a ne na bodin do e do ato ahwehwem na asa na obeda benya adan adamu no broni beda no mesisi wo no ma me toto no eye kakra bi sa no ma me de ye nyina ni nyina fi wankasa nkasa umemu ha na abodie nyansa pe ehwehwemu no a ya wuntumi entenase se we de wu se usika no entina ma basa.
The Bechemahene Nana Fosu Jiabo Akoto was of the view religion, science and technology are tools for socio-economic transformation. Other speakers lauded Apostle Sarfo's contribution towards technological development. They pledged their support and called on government to consider investing in his products.
So I have with me in the studio Kwame Osei Bempa, Public Relations Manager of Christo Asafo Mission. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
And thanks for your time. Now, technology is evolving. We've seen Apostle Sarfo do a number of things. Looking at his kind of technology and what he really does, which branch of technology did he branch into and what did he start with specifically?
Initially, he started with farming, and if you had followed our exhibitions, you realize that this is the 32nd exhibition.
Yes.
And we were giving out food items to institutions, disabled institutions, the needy in society. But I think that Apostle had that kind of vision, but he needed to start from somewhere. So we started the technology aspect about 20 years ago when he infused technology into the other things that you saw us doing from the beginning. But if you ask me the branch of technology, that is what makes Apostle extraordinary. Because everywhere you go, if you talk about technology, one person specializes in one aspect. But when you come to Apostle, you realize that he is from archaeology to zoology. Every aspect of technology, he is there. From building construction in technology, from marine engineering technology, from aeronautics and everything. So that is what makes Apostle extraordinary.
Now, this is a 32nd annual exhibition you're organizing. How has this fair or exhibition influenced the youth in the past? Because sometimes you do hear some of these young persons saying that, yes, I love science, but it's quite tedious. The process is too long. I don't think I'd want to do it, even though I probably have the passion for it, or I probably see a lot of people doing it, but I want to get into it. But because of the processes involved, I won't do it. How has this fair influenced the youth in the past?
I would say excellent. But if it comes to the entire youth of the nation, then that is where the problem may be. And that is what has always been Apostle's call to the authorities of the nation, to look at. You hear him saying that isn't it time that we change our education to make it more practical oriented? Because he thinks that we cannot continue to see technology as an exclusive preserve of a particular race, but that we can also do it. Why is it that we cannot depend on the local raw materials that we have and make something out of it? So for that, he has signed a memorandum of understanding with University of Mines and Technology, UMA Takwa. He has another one with Kumasi Polytechnic.
I was just about asking you.
University of Ghana, precisely College of Agriculture and Consumer Sciences. They bring their students to his site, and he trained them in the practical aspect of technology. Like I said, when you go to our side, from electronic engineering, we are there, mechanical engineering, soil science engineering, and all the others. He just distributes the students in all these areas, and before they are leaving the site, they become so excited because at least the things that they have been seeing in books, reading about them, and thinking about it as something that is so mystic that they cannot do, they are able to do it. They will go to their campus and they are able to make a transmitter that is transmitting within the corridors of their campus information, and they become so excited. So he's saying that, is it not time that we change our education? Think that when it comes to building these gadgets that we all know we depend on it for our development, it is only the white man that can do it. He says it's not true. I've been able to do it. So you go to his site, we have about 300 students, all of them from our church, aside those who come from outside. They are there. They are doing it, so it can be done. Now,
so you have a relationship with some of the universities. Are you looking at moving into the junior high schools and the senior high schools that are technologically biased?
That should be the decision of the educational authorities.
But have you approached them in a way to find out if they would be interested in it?
Well, we've been dealing with officials. For example, we invited the Director General of Ghana Education Service. His deputy was there, and I think that as we go on, we have been engaging government officials, those in educational institutions. You start from somewhere before you get to from one level to another level. And I think that if we continue to engage, we'll be able to determine which areas that will be more relevant for us to start from. But as at now, Apostle is interested in those who have gotten a certain basis, so that when they come, they'll be able to take it out from there and then develop to another level.
Now, in the 21st century, we've seen people come up with ideas, country coming up with an idea, another country assembling or fixing those ideas and putting them together for the mission, Christos as a formation. In terms of technological development in this country, what are we looking at?
You know, some started from somewhere. They are at where they are because of the basis they got. As a nation, the most important question is, what kind of foundation are we laying as far as science and technology is concerned, so that we can build on it in future? Apostle is saying that if it is about profit making, I know how to do these cars. The only thing left is just to acquire an assembly plant from somewhere. Then it is either complete knockdown, you just assemble. You still can go with the label Katanka and sell and make your profit. But he is saying that no, I have something, and that something is to teach the younger generation, make them also understand that technology, they can also do it. So why don't you build the foundation so that we can also build on it? It is not about just saying that, oh, develop it, sell it, let us get it into commercial quantities. These days, like you said, you can get a car chassis from somewhere, you get the doors from somewhere, you get the other parts from somewhere, you assemble, you name them, you are selling. But when you do that, how does technology transfer? So you can build from the scratch. That is where some other people started, and they are at where they are. So that is Apostle's vision and mission.
One very interesting question I think most people would want to know is that does Apostle Safo use the car he's manufactured all by himself?
He uses a lot of them. We have the Kantanka limousine that he did. We call it Kantanka Ompon. He's been using it. He goes to work with it.
How many years now?
We built in 2006. He's always been using it. And most of the time when you see Apostle using other foreign cars, the mission is that we acquire them and then we dismantle and look at how it was made and also produce. So that is the combination. There is no problem. We use it, I use it, everybody uses it.
Did
it
you bring yours here?
I didn't bring my own here, it's in the office.
All right, well, thank you so much for your time. I just spoke to Kwame Osei Bempa. He's the Public Relations Manager of Crystal Asaf.